is good, everybody? And welcome to the Weekday Wagers right here on a Wednesday, a very special Wednesday. Why is it special? Because in just about 5 minutes, we are going to get to Robby's radar. If you've seen our show, you already know how absolutely valuable that information is. If you are new to the show, first of all, welcome. Thank you. Hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content, simply because Wednesdays are special around the Weekday Wagers brand, simply because when Robby starts targeting 4 NFL player props that he likes for the weekend, there's nobody in this business that's better at it than our Robby Hockey. We'll get to that shortly. Before we start getting to what's happening today and a look ahead for the NFL, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened yesterday. And, I don't know what's going on. Robby hit his points parlay. Not a problem. I got that text last night. I fell victim to this thing in the NHL known as the scoring officials. First of all, I want names and faces because you can hide behind your anonymity no longer, people. I need to figure out who is doing the recording of these things. And all of a sudden, our man, Daniel Tarasov, who had 8 saves in the first period, by the time they came out to take the ice for the second period, they'd already taken away 3 of those saves. And the same thing happened again in the second period. So, yeah, NHL, I'm looking at you. We got to figure that out. But enough of that. I am not salty. We move forward. In fact, I might have an NHL play tonight. I don't. There's only one game. All right. Robby. I'll quit mumbling and moaning about my bad beat last night. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing great. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Those stat correctors, that's what I won't do. Shot on goal or save props. I won't do them anymore. 3 years ago, they were a cash cow. Now they're a dead cow, and I'm not doing it.
They are ground beef is what they are. And they're moving me away. And I will say this, if nothing more, those stat correctors are encouraging me to get outside of my comfort zone and find other niche markets. And I think we have found one that I can't wait to unveil here very soon. But listen, we know why the people are here. And it's not to hear me ramble on last night. The atrocities that took place on the ice. By the way, Frozen Frenzy, thumbs up. You got 16 games. Were there any of the games that really stood out to you out of that melee?
Well, trying to watch that and the World Series, I was limited on the hockey game, so I would flip back each time a period would end. So I started with Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Then I was over on the Toronto game. I was watching that. Then the nightcap, we both had that Kings play in the parlay, so I was definitely watching it. And also the Preds suck. They're hard to watch. Like, they are a bad hockey team. Like, I turned it. I was like, I can't do it, boys. I can't watch this team. Like, they're terrible. But yeah, it was a good night. Good night. I hit a few plays last night.
And speaking of bad teams, I don't know about you, but I have been just absolutely stunned, pleasantly stunned, by the way, with the Chicago Blackhawks and their performance. The Philadelphia Flyers have sneakily become a decent team. Now, and I realize, look, we're only talking about 8, 9, 10 games to start the season. But to come out the way that these two teams have, and the third one, those Anaheim Ducks of DGs, they got the win. And I'm telling you, the trash talk that took place, as soon as the game was over, he's blowing our phones up.
Hey, you thought he got me, but I have Cutter Gauthier on my fantasy hockey team, and I had Sam Reinhart in a point parlay, so joke's on him. I still won either way.
There we go. And speaking of parlays, that's right. Our live on the air People's Parlay. In fact, that's what we're going to call it from now on, the People's Parlay. We've hit 2 nights in a row. We started on the Equinox. We hit last night. I think, you know what? Let's do this, Robby. How's this? If we have the people who are watching now, if there is a game, if there is a play that you like, just one specific play, Doesn't matter the odds because this is going into a parlay. So obviously we can be a little lenient with the odds. Nothing above, let's say, minus 1,000. How's that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm cool with that.
above that. But we want to get decent odds for the people because this is the people's parlay. Go ahead, drop those into the chat because as Rich says, yeah, and Rich, by the way, you're very welcome. We're looking to do that again for you today because we want to make it 3 in a row. So, yeah, we did catch that nice 250 parlay. And we'll go with that. Let's see what else. So, yes, that's where I was going. Before we get to Robbie's radar, I just wanted to say, if there's a play that you really like, minus 1,000, you want it into people's spot, you know what? Drop it in the chat. We'll review it. We'll kind of weigh it out, and then we'll give you our thoughts, and let's put together another winning parlay. But we have come up to that time. It's the time that everybody waits for. Little Robbie radar. Robbie, we are starting off with Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs in the Detroit Lions. It says Indianapolis Colts, but I know that that's a typo because he's obviously wearing a Detroit Lions jersey. Why do we like Jahmyr Gibbs going against the Steelers this week?
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs is not playing the Steelers. They're playing the Minnesota Vikings. Producer man kind of messed up that on the graphic, and it's my fault for not double checking him. But he did the work for me, so I'm not going to complain too hard. But why don't we play Jahmyr Gibbs is the question. He's done nothing but kill Minnesota the last 4 games. In 4 games, he has 9 touchdowns. 9 in 4 games against Minnesota. He's averaging 91.3 rushing yards. He's gone for 116 and 139 in his last 2 games against them. His rushing receiving prop, I think it's going to be around 100 probably on this weekend. I would definitely hammer that. He's just an absolute Minnesota Vikings killer. And if you didn't watch Minnesota last week, they got ran all over by Kamani Vidal of the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
Give me all of Gibbs's props. The props I've already bet: 70 plus rushing yards. I got that minus 125. 2 plus touchdowns plus 280. Longest rush over 17.5 and over 22.5 receiving yards. Sorry.
Let me ask you this, because Detroit has that running back by committee philosophy with David Montgomery also into the mix. Does it scare you or does it bother you or create a little caution in all of those plays? Because if David Montgomery gets hot, they might just feed him the ball instead of Gibbs.
No, because Gibbs is RB1. Montgomery is your change of pace back. He's your pass catching back. Sometimes Gibbs is also that as well. I think they only really put Montgomery in when Gibbs just needs a break anymore. Because I thought that too at the beginning of the year. But Gibbs has been nothing but consistent. David Montgomery, I haven't looked at his lines, but his receiving prop, if it's under 10 yards, that would be one to smash this weekend too, because he constantly goes over at least 10 plus yards receiving. And against this Vikings defense, absolutely love that.
Excellent. That's a great little nugget right there. Let's keep this moving. Let's go to Ja'Marr Chase of the Bengals, who had a huge game going up against the Bears. Why do we like Ja'Marr Chase?
He's still on my radar, but I just found out that Joe Flacco was 50-50 to play. He has an AC joint sprain. That wasn't on my book last night whenever I was putting these plays in. But Ja'Marr Chase has 10, 12, and 16 targets in his last 3 games. It doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. If you keep feeding him that, he is absolutely going to dominate. He's playing the Chicago Bears, who, granted, they've played some weaker competition, so their wide receiver numbers look pretty good. But I still remember Dallas throwing all over them. I still remember whenever they played the Ravens just recently, they couldn't throw in it because Lamar Jackson was hurt. I think Chase is going to go over his receiving yards, his receptions, and I don't hate his longest reception. I even put in his anytime touchdown. It opened at minus 130 on all the books. I tried searching around. Minus 130 is the lowest you can grab it. But I just think Chase has a day. And if Joe Flacco plays, I absolutely love Chase.
Okay. So if Flacco doesn't play, that means we get to see the return of Jake Browning, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Does that scare you at all? Or do you think that Browning starts to target a guy like Chase, who's Mr. Consistent, who is he's going to be the, give me the ball type receiver?
Yeah, I think Chase just demands too much attention, and I think the Bears are bad defensively. I know JC1 Dallas only scored 14 points, but even with CD Lamb going out, George Pickens still had himself a nice day. So it doesn't matter what Dallas does as a team. I'm looking at the wide receivers. The Bears defense is terrible, and I think Jake Browning will find Jamar Chase against the Bears. I don't know who wins this game, though. I hope to God it's not on our overdrive or anything else, because I really don't know which team wins this game.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. I can't take another losing week of that, so I can't afford it. Let's move to, speaking of the Bears, we got DeAndre Swift, who is playing the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals. What do we like about DeAndre this weekend?
Yeah, it's safe to say the Bengals suck against the run, right? They've been absolutely terrible. They've allowed the most rushing yards to running backs, and they've allowed 147 rushing and receiving yards as my light goes out for some reason. Let me just a second. Anyway, there we go. But Swift can do it all in the backfield, rushing and receiving. In 2 of his last 3 games, he's cleared 100 plus rushing yards. So I love his rushing prop. Again, his odds aren't out right now either. I would look at his anytime touchdown. I imagine it's going to be probably minus 150 or higher. So it may be too juiced to play on its own. But if you put it with maybe him to get 50 plus yards rushing, put the anytime touchdown with that as well, you should be able to get plus money out of that.
I like that. I like that play a lot. Let's finish this up. Get all set for the weekend, because we've got Romeo Doubs of the Packers going against the Carolina Panthers. And look, that's not an exaggeration. That is really how big that helmet is on that guy's body. So, yes. Why do we like the bobblehead this weekend?
Romeo, my big-headed Romeo. Look, Doubs has barely missed this prop last week. He got 44 receiving yards. His line was set at 45. That's what I grabbed it at. It was National Tight Ends Day, so Tucker Kraft went off. But even with Christian Watson returning, Doubs still commanded the targets on the wide receiver core. He had the most targets with 6 last week. Carolina is absolutely terrible against wide receiver ones. Wide receiver ones are averaging 82.6 receiving yards and have crushed their 21-plus longest reception in 5 straight games against the Panthers. The Panthers have also allowed a touchdown to the wide receiver one in 3 of their last 4 games. I have smashed Dobbs' props already. They came out having 45-plus receiving yards at minus 115, 21 longest reception at minus 110, and I grabbed his anytime touchdown at plus 140.
So let me ask you this, because the Panthers are coming off a ridiculous beatdown by the Bills, where James Cook went absolutely bonkers on them last weekend. Do you like – so I guess this is a 2-point. Does a potential blowout here scare you away from a passing Green Bay team as they just kind of turn to a rushing mentality to chew up the clock and get out of Carolina with the win?
Not necessarily. And the reason why is because they played Cleveland tight. They even lost to Cleveland earlier in the year. And then they played Cincinnati pretty tight as well. Ended up winning that game. So even against bad competition, they're not blowing these teams out. Now, the Steelers gave them a good run for their money in the first half. They eventually took over in the second half. But they're not just blowing these teams out. And there's so many weapons on the wide receivers. I would say mediocre weapons. I think Dobbs is probably their top target, even with Christian Watson back.
Okay. Yeah, and it's, again, to your point, that Pittsburgh Green Bay game, we hammered 3 out of the 4 live bets that we did on that halftime show. So we were all over that game. I think that's the only thing that gives me pause with a Green Bay passing prop is that blowout potential, because we saw that with the Buffalo receivers and Josh Allen, who kind of took their, we're just going to give Cook the ball, let him do his magic and get out of here.
The thing is, too, Carolina's so bad defensively, they give up those long bombs. So take Dobbs. If he gets 1 reception and it's a long one for a touchdown, well, that's 3 props right there you might could cash in 1. I'm not taking his receptions props because he doesn't get a ton of receptions. But the last time he played Carolina, he went 4 for 79 with a touchdown, and his longest receiving was 36 yards. So he cleared all of that. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't put these on the graphic, But your Chargers against the Titans, there's a lot of value on your Chargers. Kamani Vidal, I love him. And I love y'all's tight end, Aronde Gadsden. I love both of those guys this weekend.
Listen, don't be giving away my play. You obviously have been looking at my notes over on justastatsports.com on plays that I'm about ready to put in because I am all over the Tennessee Titans. Listen, they have cashed 2 straight running back props for me the last 2 weeks. We're going to go ahead and make that number 3. And speaking about making things super special, you can't be special without a little Bassett Blends.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's gonna turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't-miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Gotta love the Bassett Blends. Speaking of loving things, let's get to the picks that we love for tonight. And Robby, let's kick it off with you. What do you want?
Yeah, tonight we're going to take a little 2-sport ticket, as I like to call it. Slow night in hockey, 1 game in baseball, that's okay because we're going to cash a plus 100. I love Shohei Ohtani, 1+ hit, and Austin Matthews, 1+ point at plus 100. Look, Ohtani, what is it to say? He's the GOAT. He's the best. He's one of the best ever. The Dodgers got their ass kicked last night. I mean, it wasn't close. They got their ass kicked. So kudos to Toronto. I think tonight they are at home. I think Ohtani's going to put the team on his back. Look, we're not asking for a home run. We're just asking him to make contact and get a hit. The walks are there. Could be a walk, but I think Yesovich will be on the mound more than normal because of that 18-inning stretch the other night. I think you're going to see a lot of Yesovich in this game, which is going to leave opportunity for Ohtani to get a hit. Fastball, splitter, those are his main 2 pitches. Ohtani crushes them. And then Austin Matthews, it's pretty simple. He didn't get on the score sheet last night, something he rarely does. So he's going to look for a bounce-back game tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets. He has a goal in 9 of his last 10 games. And, by the way, he has 12 goals in that span against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I love him for a goal. Love him even more for a point for this parlay. Put both these together for a plus 100.
I love it. Listen, it's not a plus money play, but what I can tell you is that there is going to be a beatdown in Denver tonight because the Pelicans, that's right, the Pelicans are traveling to Denver. Not only is it starting to get cold in Denver, which has nothing to do with this play, obviously, because they're playing indoors, but Pelicans don't do well in the cold. And the Nuggets have been clicking early, and this looks like another spot where they are going to make an absolute statement from beginning to end. Why? Simply because Zion, he may not be in the lineup, okay? That is really the Pelicans' only saving grace that they've had to start this season. They have been horrible. With Zion Williamson's foot issues that continue to plague him year after year, apparently it doesn't matter how much weight he loses or what he weighs, his foot issues are real. And the model over at justastatsports.com had the Nuggets covering this by 11 points, had the Nuggets covering by 11 points. That was with Zion getting a full regiment of minutes and being a full participant in the game. That gap is going to get even wider if he can't go the full minutes, or worse, if he has to sit. I love this spot for Denver, who has the efficiency. They have the depth. They will make the Pelicans regret having flown north for the winter. And Robby, there you go. We're there. And as Joe points out, weather for a basketball game was a bold choice for analysis. More as a metaphor, Joe, the Pelicans should have flown further south if they wanted to be competitive in this game. Flying north to Denver is a bad choice for the Pelicans. So that's where that was going. Took a while to get there, but we got there. Speaking of getting there, we have now arrived at our favorite spot. And you killed it last night with yours, the Daily Dinger. We've only got one hockey game tonight. So this is pretty easy. who is simply going to be scoring goals tonight in this game between Toronto and the Columbus Blue Jackets. We got Austin Matthews, Kirill Marchenko, William Nylander, John Tavares, and Dmitry Voronkov, who, by the way, doesn't that sound like a spy from one of the Jason Bourne movies?
Could be. Yeah.
Just saying.
Voronkov?
Yeah.
Or I think it's actually Voronkov, but
which makes it even better. He is a villain.
Exactly.
Who do you like in this and why?
So I've got two. One on the board, Austin Matthews. I just told you 12 goals in his last 10 games against Columbus, 6 goals this year already. We cashed pasta last night, but let's go for another long shot tonight. You know, our guy Kuzmenko couldn't come through, but I like Adam Fantilli at plus 290. He had a hat trick against Toronto last January when they played, and Columbus has allowed 6 goals to the second line center this season. They are terrible against the second line. So I'm looking at Adam Fantilli plus 290 off the board.
I am sticking on the board, and I like Austin Matthews for all the reasons that you like him to score a point. I think that point comes via a goal. Look, the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Toronto Maple Leafs are the scoring in this game is going to get off to a very fast and early start. Little bonus play. If you go to justastatsports.com right now, you can read the entire write-up, but I'll give it to you right now. The first period over 1.5 goals. I absolutely love that. Oh, and you know what? I just saw that. What do you guys think of the over 1.5 goals in the Toronto Columbus game? Rich, that's a great question. Let me tell you exactly what I think. We have been testing we have been looking at how to gauge and those niche markets, because as Robby said before, with the stat corrections that take place, playing shots on goal and goalie saves has become a nightmare. It is literally a activity just built around frustration. Finding another way to play a hockey game with very soft markets, what we have found is looking at first period and second period goal scoring. We have been tracking first period goal scoring, and with the model, with our goal projections per period model, it has been dynamite to start the season. This is the highest percentage I have seen so far this season for a probability of that 1.5 hitting. It is extremely juicy. In fact, I was telling Robby right before we came on the show, I got it this morning at minus 135. It is already at minus 154 at BetMGM. So if you can grab this, anything below minus 150, grab it. I love this spot tonight for a lot of goals. I think we see a ton of scoring. Toronto has been a scoring machine. Columbus has been a absolute defensive no-show. So but offensively, they can also put up some goals themselves. So I don't mind either way. I do think that Toronto has Joseph Wall in goal tonight because they're on the second night of a back-to-back, which means that he should say. Yeah, I don't know if you can check that for me.
Gotcha.
But that would be my only concern as far as Columbus scoring a lot of goals. But I think Toronto lights them up and does it often.
So Joseph Wall doesn't look like he's back yet. So Caden Primo, I guess that's how you'd say it in French or whatever it is.
Yeah, Caden Primo.
He's going to be in goal either way. If it was Joseph Wall, I'd actually feel worse about that play. But since it's not Joseph Wall, I think that play was a lot better.
That's probably why it's priced where it's at, because Caden Primo has been, he's been good defensively for Toronto the way that Anthony Stolarz has. And that's not saying a lot because they're having team meetings about Anthony Stolarz. So that's that. Look, I know we have a couple of – where did I see? Well, good old DG, he would like to put in a Royce O'Neal over 4.5 rebounds as a pick on the People's Parlay. I don't have anything on Royce O'Neal. Let me look up that. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. According to the model at justastatsports.com, out of the 2 college football games right now that take place tonight, Jacksonville State is the one that has the highest probability of winning straight up, according to the model. So let's put Jacksonville State into that. Over on the NBA side, the Denver Nuggets have a 86.5 probability, the win probability percentage in that game, according to the Sims. Let's put that together. What does that get us odds-wise?
You building it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got you. I got you.
I was just letting you run with it.
So then if we put in DG's play of Royce O'Neal, I would have to know what team does Royce O'Neal play for? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. So while you're looking at that, come on, chat. I know you guys have
Suns.
You've got
Thanks,
one solid play in there. Where is it? Oh, that's right. That makes sense because it's going against his Memphis. And we're over 4.5 rebounds. Royce O'Neal. DG, what if we do 4 rebounds for Royce O'Neal? So we'll just do 4+ rebounds for Royce O'Neal. The Denver Nuggets on the money line. Jacksonville State on the money line. And Rob, I'm going to let you decide. You be the deciding factor.
Okay.
Do we go baseball or do we go hockey? One game on each side.
Let's go hockey. I won't give you a guy that I've already given you. I won't give you Matthews because we're already on that. Don't want double. Let's go Zach Werenski for a point for Columbus. He's a defenseman. He has 2 goals and 4 assists on the year, 9 assists in his last 8 games versus Toronto. Toronto is allowing the 32nd most goals to defensemen. So they're dead last in the NHL against defensemen with goals being scored. All we need is a point from Zach. I like him for a point.
Okay. So it's as TG says.
Exactly.
Who?
Who does Royce O'Neal play for? Exactly.
Right. Zach Werenski.
Yep.
1+ point. All right. So I'm going to keep typing this into the banner here. We have Jack's State money line. We have Denver Nuggets money line. We have Royce O'Neal 4+ rebounds, and Werenski. Oh God, 1+ point. Put those all together. I put that together at DraftKings. What do you think that is?
Plus 525.
Plus, wow, you are thank God you don't work for the books. You put Vegas out of business. I'm going to say you went over just by a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So when you look at all of those, you get plus 287.
See, I was adding a boost in my head. That's why. It's a Robby math. I had a 50% boost in my head that I was applying to that.
Got you. So I think that magically, listen, first of all, this kind of just all started organically over the equinox day. And we're like, we hit that parlay. We decided to keep it going yesterday since it was the day after. We hit that one. I kind of like this. The People's Parlay. I think this could be something. Yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun to put together each and every day. It's a great way for everybody to get kind of look behind the scenes here and say, okay, these guys, this is what they like. Boom. Let's take it. Throw it all in a parlay that has absolutely no correlation with each other since they're all sorts of different sports.
Yeah, and you know, considering we don't work for any books, we're not a mouthpiece for a book. It's not a pre-made ordeal. We come up with it on our own right here on the show. So I like it.
There it is. Love the graphic. Thank you, producer man. The People's Parlay. We got the Nuggets money line. Zach Rowinski to get 1 point. He plays for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Jacksonville State, the Gamecocks to win straight up on the money line. And Royce O'Neal, who plays for the Phoenix Suns, to get at least 4 rebounds tonight. Put those 4 together. You get a plus 287 parlay. Woo! Robby. Seems like a lot.
Nah.
We gave out our official plays. We gave out bonus plays. We gave out goal scorers. And we gave out the parlay.
I gave out like 10 per Robbie's radar, except for Chase and Swift because they ain't out there yet. So,
yeah, that's a hell of a day, my friend. That's a hell of a Wednesday. Hump day is great because where else are you going to get that kind of? Where else are you going to get all that in one spot in literally 30 minutes? Nowhere. So with that being said, listen, again, thank you all for joining us. I look at those live numbers. It's incredible. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. If you could be so kind, hit that like button, please, please, please. It really does help us grow. And we have been growing tremendously, and we want to keep that growth going. Robby, DG, we'll be back right here tomorrow. Same bat channel, Weekday Wagers. Same bat time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Be kind to one another. And let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow.